Good morning, gardening friends. Happy Easter! Today is April 20th, and it is a beautifully sunny day here in my Zone 9A garden, although right now I'm in my front porch. You can see the last of the Easter lilies, the blossoms. They've all opened, which is perfect. They made it through till Easter, and I'll be planting them out in the yard later this week. I didn't do an awful lot on the plants in here other than water them. The one that I did take apart was my nun's orchid. I went ahead and potted it up in its final pot. And while I was at it, I shaved off 2 clumps, which you'll see later I put in the backyard. This is going to go on the deck, but I didn't feel like rearranging all of this for today. So I figured I would just leave the pot here for now and at my leisure put it out on the deck and then rearrange things in here. I've cooked for Easter. I have friends coming over at 12:30. So I have plenty of time, being that it's only 9:30 now. Let's go take a walk. I watered everything in last night because we haven't had rain for a while. My potager is coming along nicely. The dill is maturing nicely. And the blackberries are coming. I'm going to have a bumper crop of blackberries this year. I did trim up my Opuntia cactus. And you may notice one leaf at the top has a little, it looks like a glove. It has a little V-shaped notch out of the top. And I was talking to one of my neighbors and had related what that was from was when that was a shoot, a fresh, juicy shoot, a bird had nipped it. And it just healed around the bird nip. Still have some more of my amaryllis blooming. The pelargoniums or geraniums are doing really well. Those are, I want to say, 3 or 4 years old now. I do protect them in the wintertime. I bring them in for frost. It has been windy, so hence you see a lot of trash here and there. The bananas are doing well. I'll pick up this trash. I don't know about my fig tree. I still don't see any buds on these shoots or the branches. But I did cut them back to what looked like live branches, so we'll see. If not, I'll cut them back to there eventually. The Louisiana iris are still in bloom, looking gorgeous. I will go ahead after they're done blooming. I'll dig them all up and I will replant them. They seem to grow linearly. If you notice, there's a hole in the center. So what I'll do is dig them up and plant them every which direction, so that way they'll grow not in any one direction, but they'll grow so that they, at least for a couple of years, they'll look good before they start getting scant in the center again. Impatiens have thickened out nicely, and so far the slugs have avoided them. Birds are really using the bird bath now because they're emptying about every 2 days. The nandinas are still doing well. I do need to come and trim all of this, especially the hibiscus in the middle, Rose of Sharon. It's columnar, but it has tilted, so I really need to trim it back and stake it. Just haven't gotten around to it yet. All the camellias are really shooting up nicely. I think this year I'm going to let them grow upwards, but I will trim them on the sides to, oh, there's a bird wants to get it here to the bird bath. He's flitting around in the tree. But I'll just trim them on the edges, on the sides, and let them grow up as tall as they want. Over here, my crepe myrtle is doing well. I still don't see, we missed the flowers, I don't know how, on my creeping iris. No life to the cassia yet. And the last of the flowers on my crinum, this crinum, I have another one on the corner yet that hasn't started blooming. And my cryptomerium has done really well. I just put that there last year. I may get another one and put it over there. I've not had luck with evergreens in the past. And, although not opening yet, my magnolia, Little Gem, is just absolutely full of flowers. And it's losing its old leaves, as can be told by the ones that are falling on my car. This following week is Big Trash Week, so I'll be trimming a lot of things back. I think I will finally cut this cycad out and just take my chances because it looks so pitiful, all brown. I'll just cut all the fronds off of it. That one has some green ones, so what I'll do is I'll leave the green, see what it looks like. I can hear my rosemary. I planted that this year, but it's doing well. My tomato plant is still doing fine. I do have to water it every day. It's a very dry spot. And my Australian tree fern is doing well. Still nothing in this spot. I see something in the back, so it will fill out. It just looks like it lost this one piece. It had rotted. I put leaves there and I guess there was too much water, and I dug with my finger. I dug all the rot out that I could get, but apparently it's not going to sprout back. I keep a little container of water here so every morning I can water my tomato. Again, another beautiful pelargonium. There's Dilly. Dilly I thought was a male. Well, now that I can pet her, I found out she was missing some essential equipment, so she is a female. She has such fluffy fur that you really can't tell. But she is getting tame enough where I can pet her, so it's only a matter of time before she gets fixed. Here's a case of where I just want to trim this off. I haven't had a lot of blossoms on this one recently. I've been trimming the top too much, so I'm going to leave the top alone this year. See if it helps any. You can see the satsuma is thickening out nicely. I also need to trim the nandinas there because they're starting to close over the sidewalk. My angel's trumpet is doing well. As I always say, it has risen above the aspidistra. This little cluster is doing better. You can see the wandering dude. I left those pots right where they are. I did not protect them at all over the winter. And it died back to the pot level, to the dirt. And you can see it came back. My outside Easter lilies are setting bud. And you can see how fast the crepe myrtles are growing. I have to prune out a few more errant sprouts. So far, my African iris have not bloomed, but they're setting buds. It's only a matter of time. More progress is made on the painting of the garage. You really couldn't notice it last week, but the paint job was just begun. And now this side and the side over here are done. There's a little bit of touch-up yet on the side where the tool shed is. So I will probably clean these beds and put leaves out. I have 5 bags of leaves waiting to go down, and I just need to put them down. Back in there, You can probably see a couple of pots. In the big pot, I have some asparagus I planted. In the other pot, I moved it from my deck. It has my banana trees in it. They were too shaded on the deck, and so that is a full sun spot. So I'm starting to amass plants in there that I will leave in there ultimately when I put a little table and chairs. When the construction is done on the garage, then I'll, as the British say, kit that area out. But for now, I just put a few things that'll grow there. This little porch has come together nicely. Hopefully by next week there'll be a metal roof on this. We shall see. At least it's in the works. The color turquoise has grown on me. It's not quite as shocking anymore. Yeah, all this, I'm going to get rid of the alstroemeria, and I'm actually going to get rid of the ginger lilies. They're too much of a pain to keep. So I'm going to be keeping this a little more clear, more like this. And I think what I'm going to tuck in here instead of ginger lilies is I'm going to tuck a couple of clumps here and there in the sunnier spots right next to the porch. If I can point correctly, right there. I'm going to bring a couple of those Louisiana iris over here. It'd be nice to introduce some color. This is all doing well. The fern in the hanging pot is thickening out nicely. That's the Kimberly fern that was free from the cuttings in the front yard. And I multiplied the ferns that I had and stuck them in there. There was nothing growing there because the old hedge that I had of boxwoods shaded it too much. And so now that the gardenias are there, they're not going to get as tall. And so I figured I'd plant some more ferns there and let them, they should do well. They like dry shade. That particular fern does. My herbs are still doing fine. I have a few weeds in there. Amaryllis are just about gone. The trout lilies, no, toad lilies, they seem like they like their new spot. At least now they're out in the open, as opposed to being in deep shade. They get afternoon shade. I see I have some Trachyospermum jasminoides blooming. Jasmine, Confederate, to you and me. Funny how the British don't call it Confederate jasmine. Go figure. Back in here. Oh, I didn't turn my fountains on. I don't leave them on at night. I did go with a friend of mine to his urologist, which is in downtown Mobile. And every time I go, I stock up on a big bag full of Spanish moss because they're in a part of town where Spanish moss grows wildly. I don't take it off the trees. What I do is I go around in their flower beds where it has fallen and I pick it up off of the plants as well as the ground because they're only going to mow over it. And needless to say, I put a whole garbage bag full, well, not garbage bag, a Aldi's bag full of Spanish moss. I added to it. I'd say about maybe 50% of it lives every year, but that's okay. It doesn't normally grow on palms, so it's not its best host, but I want it to be there, so I will water it. This is one of the things that I worked on this week. We put out mulch, and I worked this area over. I did plant some of my cuttings of the coleus, and here's where I put my two ground orchids, Japanese ground orchids. They did not bloom this year. I don't know why. Beautiful plants, but no blooms. And these are the two nuns orchids that I cut off the side of the nun's orchid that I had bought and was in my front porch. They should do fine here in the shade. And I planted this. It's a yellow or peach colored angel's trumpet. That's one of the cuttings I took. It turns out angel's trumpets did come back. I put cuttings there last year. They did not do real well because the Nandina shaded it out, but I've cut the Nandina way back. This should do better. It's in a sunny spot. I was going to say they were coming back. However, while trimming the Nandina, someone with big feet tromped all over that. It was me. So I was so fed up that I figured I have the 3 cuttings. Let's use one of them. I also thinned out the fatsia around David. It does lose leaves. They turn yellow and then they drop off. So it is pretty good at dropping its leaves. Sometimes I help it. You can see the stubs. I cut the green away so that David was free. He was being suffocated. Well, the vincas you can see here. We also worked on the palm here. I have to back up so I can show you. This is the first year. That, by the way, is a crinum lily. It's gotten huge. This is the first year. Well, you're in the sun. You can't see it. Let me get in the shade. This is the first year I'm going to leave dead on the Canary Island date palm, simply because it's gotten so tall that I can't really get at it. What I did do is we cut all of the errant branches except one at the tippy top off the new green growth. We just couldn't get to it. It's too high. And so I'm going to let the dead just fall. The one we got it out of the trees and just let it fall against the palm itself. Although, truth be told, I may get a stepladder and trim so that they're all even here. I don't mind the dead dropping down. I just don't want it to look unkempt. So I may cut those 4 long fronds in half. But they're still going to be dead hanging, so the new green will take over. And they will fall eventually. Here you can see the flowers are forming on the Serenoan repans. Close up. I've never seen this many flower stalks on this palm before. I don't really know why, what makes this year special, but they are absolutely all over the place. And I've got strawberries. The wild spiderwort is blooming nicely. Usually bees like it. They're not out today. The strawberries really show up. So far the birds haven't gotten them. I did lose a yellow knockout rose here. I had lost that one last year and got it from Walmart. Well, I got this new one from Amazon, and the lone stick in the back is all that was left of the old one. So I had yanked it out, and it still had some life, so I went ahead and just planted it next to this one. I do like the yellow knockout because they have a scent. I don't know about all the... At one time, they were the only knockout rose with a scent. I don't know if that's still true. Of course, my plum, Ozark plum, is leafed out nicely. It's now about the same height as my kumquat, which was the plan all along. Back in here, whatever was eating the leaves of this looks like it has stopped. This is the area that still needs a little touch up here and there. But overall, it's 90% done, 95% done. And this all needs working over and mulching with leaves. Here you can see a close-up of a pindo palm blossom, inflorescence. This stalk has really gotten big. Of course, you fertilize palms 4 times a year. That's one of the reasons they grow so well. vigorously, I should say. Oh, wow. I never noticed the view here with the flowers before, the inflorescences. They are just all over the place. You have to be careful of these. They're not sharp, but they will poke you. I try to keep them away from eye level. This cycad has leafed out nicely. Of course, we put more mulch here. This had already been worked over. It just needed to be mulched. I was tired of tripping over the stepping stones. I don't know what happens to the mulch. It just disappears. I have 2 more angel's trumpets, and I think I'm going to plant one in the gap over here. Just haven't gotten to it yet. And you can still see way in the background, hopefully, the snowball viburnum. I think you can see it. I can't tell. I can't really get any closer. I'm not sure what to do with the bottle brush tree. It has a lot of dead, however, it's still got blossoms, and it seems to be leafing out. I was going to cut it back to the ground, but it doesn't look like it needs to be, so I'm just going to leave it for now and see what happens. My pecan, this tall thing here, is doing well. It'll probably reach the top of the fence this year. My blueberries, I think I called them blackberries last week, are coming. They are indeed blueberries. But yeah, everything is, spring is here. You can tell these fatsias are doing well. The angel's trumpets are starting to rise above the fatsias. And the pink one is as well. My God, the pink one is huge. I don't know if you can see it. I did fertilize them, which may have been a mistake. They already got 8 foot tall last year, so with fertilizer, they'll get taller. So it's a beautiful day today. I have made mushroom soup. It's really a Polish tradition for Christmas, but I decided to make it for Easter this year. And deviled eggs, and kielbasa and sauerkraut, and we did a shrimp boil. So I've peeled 3 pounds of shrimp. It's in the refrigerator, and I'm going to make an avocado salad at the last minute. Basically, everything is already done. All we have to do is set the table and make a salad. And friends are bringing potato salads and some ice cream. I made some stewed apples last week, and so we're going to have hot stewed apples on some vanilla ice cream for dessert. Well, warm stewed apples. All of this is looking good. I did put some more mulch down there. Pretty much the backyard is mulched. I have to start mulching the front yard. I don't think I showed the inflorescence on the windmill palm. It is doing really well. Here you can see the Canary Island date palm a little better in the background. It looks better. Everything here is doing fine. Of course, the hyacinths are past, but I bought them for Easter. My porch begonias that I rooted are doing well. Cyclamen have stopped blooming, but they're still green. It's getting a little warm. Usually by March they peter out and they'll be replaced by something else. There's my leftover, my spare impatiens for the front yard. Here is the gap where I used to have the banana that didn't do well because it was in too much shade. And I think that's where I'm going, I know that's where I'm going to bring my nun's orchid from out of the front porch. I just couldn't, with all the other stuff going on last week, I just couldn't face rejigging the front porch. When you remove a big pot like that, then suddenly there's a gap that needs filling. So I'll deal with that next week. I'll tell you what, I did not fertilize these papyrus. All I did was cut back the scraggly ends that were sticking out over the pots. and they are doing really well. They have sprouted back. They're looking, and this one, of course, with all the sprouts that I cut off, and it's doing well. I don't know for sure where I'm going to put that one. If it didn't get really tall, I would probably put it in the bird bath, because they like to be in wet soil. Just stick it in the center of the bird bath in the front yard. But I don't think I'm going to do that. And I noticed I got a lot of views on an old video I put out 3 years ago on pre-sprouting caladium bulbs. So I thought I would give a refresh here. I bought 5 caladium bulbs about a month ago. What's the name of them? I wrote it on the bag. Oh, there it is. Carolyn Wharton. And what you do, if you want to it's hard sometimes to tell, like this one, what is up, what is down. My guess would be that's up. But what you can do to help you find out which way is up is soak them and then take them and put them in a plastic bag with a wet paper towel. Leave the bag open. Put it in the other bag, which I won't be able to do one-handed. But leave the plastic bag open, stick it in that bag, and just keep that bag closed and keep it in the dark place. And next week, we will see what the sprouts look like. So you should be able to tell what's up and what's down. I put the little paper towel in there just to keep a little bit of moisture. You don't want to seal the plastic bag, because if you do, they'll stink. They'll get a little slimy and stinky. So you got to keep a little bit of air. So next week, we'll see what they look like, and I'll be planting them. But in the meantime, I wish you all a happy Easter. There really is no spectacular plant this week. Everything looks good. I think I'll leave you with a picture of the geraniums. So have a good week. Get out and enjoy your gardens if you can. Till next Sunday. Bye-bye.